Hey, Cairo. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Listen, whatever time of morning, afternoon, or evening it is where you are when you hear this message, I pray that your mind, your heart, and your spirit are all poised to receive, accept, and respond to words of wisdom. Ashe, ashe, ashe. So, I'm remote here. I'm out in Boston uh, doing some work, and I just had a chance to read a really fascinating article about uh, Carnival. And this is an article about how Caribbean Carnival has been contaminated by this version of Brazilian Carnival that's packaged in China and marketed around the world. And it's interesting, right, to see a Rio de Janeiro version of Carnival, which is not even standardized throughout Brazil, right? If you go to Bahia, it's not the same. But it's been packaged up and it's been shipped all over the world, and it makes it easy for people to order their costumes and unpackage them and just go dance in Carnival, which is totally contradiction to the real Carnival tradition. Now, if you know Carnival, my father's lineage is from Louisiana, uh, the Bayou, and the tradition there is that the day after Carnival, you start the process of dismantling your mask and then making a new mask for next year's Carnival. So it's a year long process. It's a lifestyle, right? It's a lifestyle. And so when I'm reading the article, the author is really complaining because this prepackaged Chinese version of carnival costumes, it kills creativity. There's no innovativeness in it. There's no artistic genius involved in the process, which is integral to the carnival process. And it struck me because I see a really similar thing happening within Orisha lifestyle, wherein the Miami version of Orisha aesthetics has been packaged and is now being marketed all over the world. And so when you think Orisha, it's very typical for people to think of people dressed in all white with 20 different strands of beads and like 10 different Orisha pots, right? And that's it's laughable because that's not even the Cuban tradition, right? That's the Miami version. If you get to Cuba, you're not going to find people with 20 strands of ileke. You're going to find usually a person wearing one ileke for the deity that they serve, and maybe they may have a bracelet for their patron Orisha and Ifa, if they have a hand of Ifa, which is common. But it's very interesting to see the parallel. But whereas the packaged carnival lacks creativity, the prepackaged Orisha lacks authenticity. Okay? Now, if you've ever been exposed to real Orisha devotion, you know that Orisha manifests with a an authentic energy. It's like dreaming. I compare it to dreaming. When you feel the energy of Orisha come over you, it's like a dream in the sense that it's pure, unfettered imagination. It's what the soul sends you in order to balance out your consciousness. It's what the soul sends you in order to bring you into harmony with your path, with what you need to reconcile in order to be whole in this phase of your life. And so when you start to copy and paste Orisha, you cut yourself off from authenticity. Okay? And this is problematic because Let me tell you. Let me ask you a question. I'm going to switch this up a little bit. Do you remember what it was like when you were a little child, and maybe you draw a picture of a big house for your mother, and the house has flowers in front, and the house is sparkling clean, and there's a picture of your mother there. She's smiling and happy, and her hair is done nicely, and she's wearing her favorite dress. Maybe you drew a picture like that, or maybe you went out into the yard and you picked real flowers, or when you were taking a walk up and down the street, you picked all your mother's favorite flowers, or just all the flowers you could get, and you gave it to your mother, or you drew a picture of a beautiful car and you gave it to your father because you know your father wanted a new car, right? That impulse is a reflection of your intention to make a contribution, a meaningful contribution to the people who really matter most. Everybody starts off life with that impulse. We all want to make a meaningful contribution to the people who matter most. But something happens along the way. We start to get conditioned, and the world starts telling us to copy and paste and copy and paste and copy and paste so that we can get the diploma, so we can get the job, so that we can get the money, and then we can go about the process of getting the things that we want for ourselves and for the people who we love the most. But in that process of being conditioned, we lose sight of what we're really trying to do in life, which is to make a contribution, which is to be valued, right? And to be valued by a particular group of people, right? Everybody wants to be valued. So, what I want you to do is, I want you to tap into that desire, to that need to be valued. And I don't want you to lose sight of what it means to be valued by certain people. To put it another way, I want you to recall the need to be the MVP in certain people's lives. MVP being most valuable person. Okay? Your MVP really stands for your most valuable player, right? But I know you want to be the most valuable person in some people's lives. Okay? And likewise, there are some people who want you to be their MVP. These are people who recognize your natural gifts and talents, and they cherish your natural gifts and talents, and they seek you out for your natural gifts and talents. They will travel the extra mile. They'll spend the extra dollar. They'll wait an extra hour just so they can be exposed to who you are and what you contribute. Okay? That is what I want you to really focus in on right now. I don't want you to lose sight of that. Why? Because it is through those efforts that you're going to tap into your true Orisha potential. What I mean by that is Orisha become elevated to the status of deities because of their unique contribution. It's through them really being authentic. It is through Shango's authenticity that he's able to make a meaningful contribution. It is Oshun's authenticity that allows her to become a deity. It's Obatala's authenticity. Obatala is not trying to do what Ogun does. Shango is not trying to imitate Oromila. Oshun is not trying to be what Olokun is, even where they're very similar. They may both have dominion over water, but you don't see Oshun trying to out Olokun, right? Obatala is not trying to out Oromila. So why are you trying to copy and paste and do what other people do? You're never gonna achieve greatness through just copying and pasting and imitating. You've got to tap into your natural gifts and talents, and you've got to do what you were chosen to do. And you've got to do it for the people who need you the most. Okay? Now, for some people, you may have already tapped into your natural gifts and talents. You know what you do, and you're okay showing up that way. But I want you to, in that case, push it a little further. I want you to go into the the lives, the everyday lives of the people who you serve. And I want you to think about, the complexity of their lives. Think about the demands on their time and on their attention. Think about what they really need, and continue to show up more fully in their lives. For example, you tell them, hey, I know that you're pressed for time right now, you're pressed for money right now, and but listen, I've got something that is actually going to save you more time. It's actually going to make you more money. It's actually going to help you to reconcile the strife that's in your relationship. It's going to help you to have a better relationship with your child. You know what I'm saying? Speak to their condition and really show up in areas of their lives where you know that they need support, where you know that they need relief, where they need to progress. This is how you increase your position as the most valuable player in people's lives. How you become recognized and celebrated as the most valuable person in people's lives. Don't fall into the trap of copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. You don't necessarily need 20 strands of beads. You don't necessarily need 20 pots. You don't necessarily need some elaborate title. You don't need to become the next Araba of whatever. You don't need to even be a priest or a priestess in most instances, right? You need to be a good carpenter. You need to be a good cook. You need to be the best parent. You need to be the most phenomenal spouse. You need to be an extraordinary tailor or house painter or seamstress or whatever it is that you do. But do it with the intent to fulfill the needs of those people who cherish you, who love what you do and aren't afraid to tell you that they do. Okay? That's where your fulfillment comes in. That is where you're going to be your most authentic self. And through your most authentic self is the only way that you're going to tap into your chosen superpowers. In the School of Orisha Studies, in the Orisha Lifestyle Academy, through all of my books, all of my courses, all of my services, this is all I'm trying to help you to do. When you read the material and you really look at the content of my work, you're going to see again and again and again me urging you in this way. I can't say it enough. I can't say it in enough different ways. Be true to your natural gifts and talents. Be authentic. Okay? This is how you demonstrate true leadership. This is how you elevate the quality of your existence. This is how you improve the delivery of your services, and how you're going to be able to make the most meaningful contribution to the people who are most significant in your life. So if that's important to you and you can see how that's a way forward for you and the people who you love, I invite you to visit me at obafemio.com or at orishalifestyle.com, and let's take another decisive step toward helping you live the medicine that will heal your life and heal the lives of those who you are destined to serve. Bye for now. Odabo.